Toronto! The day is not done, the sun has not set. One more match remains on the main stage for today. And it is an interesting one, I don't mind telling you, a team to get their first win at a major, and another team that slaughtered the first seed right here on this stage. Is it David or Goliath? Is it upset Central again? We're going to have to find out on the main stage and on the maps. Introducing our very first team to the stage. Please give a warm welcome to the London Royal Ravens. Asim, Uli, Nastie, and Scrapz.
They hadn't won a series on LAN all year, but records are meant to be broken. They're 0-9 map count against the LA Thieves, so they intend to break that as well. It'll be behind Nastie and Asim, the slayers of this squad, and the role players that turn up in the search and destroy. Let's see if Scrapz can give us a special performance one last time. Let's get it. Let's bring out LA Thieves.
All right, on the other side though, heroes to some, villains to many. It's time to find our Major 4 champions. Say hello to LA Thieves.
So what's the plan? Same crew, but this time, we take everything.
Envoy and Dylan Adams has picked up 3 in a row, looking to take care of the entire squad, and he's done it.
Oh, this is a big moment. LaRue is cooking. He comes out of the break.
I think he did. You can see the arrow.
Here it comes. Oh, by the second. Huke runs into trouble.
Oh my God! Defended up. Kenny on the flank. Kenny on the flank. Kenny!
All right, it is time. Please say hello to the LA Thieves. Envoy, Kenny, Drazah, and Octane.
The LA Thieves completed a challenge earlier today, and it's about dinner time. Our Major 4 champs are looking to get a second ring on the year and haven't broken a sweat starting an elimination bracket round 1. But to make it to tomorrow, they have to upset the London Royal Ravens, who have won their first LAN series on this day. Let's get this series started.
All right, it is time. Heroes, villains, legends, myths. It all matters on the main stage. Let's get this game underway. Over to my favorite casters, Lando and Study.
Oh, what a nice thing to say, Bryce. We love to have you back. We're glad you're feeling better here on day number 2. And Jay, we are ending day number 2 with a pretty interesting match. LA Thieves, London Royal Ravens, both off of some massive dubs, which sounds weird to say, especially for the Ravens.
This is truly a David versus Goliath matchup, though. You think about what this team, what both of these squads have been able to do throughout the entire season. LA Thieves, every time they match up versus London, it's a clean 3-0.
Yeah.
And that's happened 4 times now. It's a 12-0 clean map count. But if this tournament's going to tell us anything, the underdogs got fight in them. London just eliminated Boston Breach in a super upset. I know LA Thieves just dominated OpTic Texas, but just the way that London won that match, all momentum, get your very first LAN win, you got to feel some kind of momentum on your side.
Yeah, you have to, right? Like we said, this is a team who has not won a single LAN match. We talk about it, right? For our teams who are not going to be at the final event of the season, this is their chance. They have nothing to lose but everything to gain, and that feels like the mentality of all 4 players there wearing red, especially for that man closest to us, Jay. I feel like he is the guy to look out for. Asim, he's got the family out here. He's back in the 6. He is ready to put up another dominant performance.
Asim is unbelievable, man. When he is on, he is on. You saw what he did versus Boston. 1.19 overall in that series. But more specifically in this matchup versus LA, he's a 0.7. So Asim, he's got a tall task ahead of him.
Yeah.
He's the guy that he sets the tone nice and early with his aggression, where he puts himself in certain positions. And with a guy like this, if he's able to turn it around versus the SMG duo on the other side, London definitely have an opportunity.
And he's one of, like, I guess, when we talk about SMGs, like in COD history, he's one of the few that has the explosive potential to take over in series. We don't say that about many SMGs throughout COD history. The guy has literally been on pretty much a different roster every single season in the CDL. He's seen different locations. He's seen different spots. But as we said, one of the most fiery SMGs that we've seen ever.
And he has that, like you said, the ability to take over. But what makes him such a special player is that he's always thinking about the W.
Yeah.
He's doing whatever is needed. If you got to hop the hill, bait and switch it to teammates, that's the kind of player he is. Just a well-rounded player. And if he's able to do that in this series versus LA, complete the upset again versus our previous major champions, man, that guy might have a statue here in Toronto.
I would think that it's, even though he's not playing for the Ultra, I think you may have to maybe start thinking about constructing one. But let's talk about our opening map that we're going to have for this series, buddy. We are going to be talking about Fortress HP. It's a perfect segue. We're talking about Asim. We've obviously been highlighting the LA Thieves. I feel like their SMGs were out to fry in the last match versus Texas. We now fly in for a map that is absolutely SMG focused. We know, right? In this occasion, David versus Goliath. In this occasion, what does David have to do to come away with this hard point? How important is this opener for the Ravens?
Oh, it's super important. I feel like this map, number one, is everything for the Ravens. You talk about what they do best. That's being one of the best teams on this map at winning rotation, second overall. But when they got the W versus Boston, it was all about those breaks. So both of these squads, that's how they like to play hard point. It's going to be a head bash all the way through.
And it feels like so often too in a hard point like this, you can kind of tell like the way that the pace, like off the rip, how the Ravens are going to look in this series. I feel like within the first 2 to 3 hard points, we're going to know if this Ravens team is the real deal when it comes down to a matchup like this. Asim off to a hot start, does eventually drop. With that, a nice little opener there for London. Thieves instantly retake control, and they have got Ravens in a very interesting spot on the map.
Yeah, I thought London had a great start off. You were able to get out, win a couple gunfights. You find Asim all the way in the opposite side of the map trying to flip those spawns, but LA Thieves, they were not worried. They find all the kills at the right time, maintain this spawn trap of consistently spawning the Ravens over towards Statue. And now with 21 seconds off the P1, they're going to get that free rotation over towards P2. London here still contesting them.
And we will get to watch the Thieves hold on to this rotation, as you said, for this upcoming hard point. The one thing that London did so well versus Boston on this map, Jay, was all about the breaks. Yeah. This team, a much different story. Comms on point. We know the qualifiers were not an accurate representation of the way that this team is going to play as Kenny lights up to first wave of the Ravens clear.
You already see Kenny's thinking a step ahead. He knows that it's final 35 seconds at the P2. We got to make sure we get those spawns for the next hill. He's going to set up the pitch, put himself towards the statue.
Hello.
Three, ran out of bullets. A teammate is going to be able to assist him in that situation. And now LA Thieves not missing any opportunities, filling that momentum definitely still after that OpTic series. Great on the P1 to P2 chain, and now they win those rotations over towards P3.
That's so funny from Kenny's perspective. He's like, I see 1, I see 2, I see 3, I see all 4. I didn't get a single kill, but at least you guys did. At the very least, his positioning on the map, as you said, now nets them the rotation over toward Fountain. Biggest thing of impact, though, is that 2 players from Thieves are not going to be here off the rip. So right now for London, you've got to make an impact nice and early. They get wiped away. Excellent rotation there from Kenny and the Thieves. And now, take a look at that team spree. What is that, 10 in a row as a roster? Thieves starting to light things up as Ravens now past the 50-yard line.
Yeah, things are starting to get a little bit out of hand. The Ravens need to find a break on towards P3. They're going to be down by 100 points. A team kill does coming from Nastie, but he does take down one as well. Having a slow start to this hard point, 2-9 overall in the KD. In that last series, he's a 1.4 versus Boston Breach. He's a guy that definitely has to step it up. Actually, the entire team. The only one positive right now is Scrapz.
Yeah, that is not a good sign if you are the London roster. I mean, you love to see the Matty Marshalls playing well, but it feels like your Slayers and some of your victories have obviously been Asim, and it's absolutely been that man, Mr. Plumridge. Nastie looking to try to change things up, moving into our next rotation, which, by the way, Thieves were in the back to kick off our next rotation into cannons. It's currently the human turret lining things up in the back, trying to make sure that spawns are secured and that things are squeaky clean inside of the HP, and right now they are.
Yeah, they win another rotation. They find all the right kills at the right time. and are now just continuously growing this lead. But London able to find 3. Last flare-up is going to be Envoy. The spawns now do flip. So London, with 35 seconds remaining over towards P4, this is some time that they desperately need.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just now are down by 100. Like, if you're Ravens, you need the 25, you need the rotation, you need the next rotation. After that, things already starting to be in a bit of a dire spot as Yuli looks to get things going. 3 and 10. Jay, we've talked about his impact on the map. Just walked away with his first major LAN series in front of a crowd. Takes a nade to the dome, but he is so impactful to this Ravens lineup.
Oh yeah, we always talk about it, at least in the online stage matches. Whenever Yuli's the guy that goes above and beyond, super positive, London always finds success. He's having a slow start, but that's the end of these first rotations. Now we go towards the P5. Spawns still scattered around the map for London. Nastie and Scrapz combined for 2. They have the potential to flip these spawns as well. Drazah has a cruise missile just in case it gets a little bit scary. But London to do a great job of just contesting this all the way down to the end.
Yeah, great work from the father-son duo there over toward the horse statue. You see Drazah fall, Kenny instantly there to help pick things up. Oh, close range. Quavo not missing shots. We have quite a few tacks out here from the Thieves. I believe it's all 4 players currently rocking that AR in hand, and really they're going to need it, especially getting out of a current spawn trap like this. So solid start for LAT. London break late, and now they're going to try to put the Thieves in a spawn trap.
Yeah, and this is where London have to make that opportunity. They have to keep them in this trap as long as they possibly can and try to chain it over towards the P1. Scrapz is on a 4 spree. Can he continue to start beaming? Already makes it 5. He's looking for the final to earn himself that cruise missile. But London is starting to show life. It's still Scrapz, the only player positive, but he's thinking more about that cruise missile because that can change the game.
Yeah, understandably so, especially considering that Drazah has obviously got one. We know that a few players from the Thieves have been on a nice run as of late. 60-point mark reached, and you need to keep this one flowing. First set of rotations dominated from Thieves, but can the Ravens finally begin to wake on up? Scrapz putting in a few, now it's all into Nastie. 6 HP, wins the fight, and now puts himself in control of the final 30, and they've also got the rotation still unlocked.
Hey, London are starting to fight back, man. There's only 30 seconds remaining on P1. They're more focused on finding these kills through the middle of the map so they can chain it over towards that P2. Seems starting to heat up. Can't find the kill onto Drazah. Now that's 3 dead. At least you still get the spawns if you are London towards the backside of the next hill. But with only 10 seconds left, these are some crucial gunfights that you have to win to not flip.
Yeah, this hard point is absolutely going to set the tone for the remainder of the game. In fact, let's go ahead and step aside and see how the comms are sounding with the boys in blue. A check-in with the Ravens.
Close that, one more behind me, yep. So where are we spawning? Can't let milk this, That's just 2. They're spawning out P5.
Yo, nice, hold in. Open. Tank, open. Dead.
Let's go. I'm gonna go 3 really weak. Kenny's coming in. Oh, 2 open, so 1 more. They're both open there, but yeah, they're both there, Asim.
I don't see them. They're wrapping the PC. I just saw him.
We stop here.
Matt's got me.
Don't stop here.
I'm holding open. Close. I'm ready to beat down stage. I'm gonna go mid door. I'm gonna go.
Close corner. Close corner, down, open, 1 shot. Max just goes, 2, I'm going.
I'm flying out.
Missing Envoy Drazah.
Back water on the plant.
P1 heady Octane.
He's spawned P1. Yo, I spawned out P1. We should choke. Yeah, waiting for you guys.
We brought this back. Big break. We should go with door. Maps.
We need a break. There could be a guy P1. Yeah, there is. I'm working bottom maps. P1. He's there. I see nothing about maps. I don't see this guy.
Attack front.
P1 dead.
Nice.
Let's work this guy ring.
Yeah. It's not Matt's box.
Coming back to the bottom bar, 1 shot, he's far. He's on green box. He went back. He's hit wood door. He's on green box. Okay. Yo, this one.
Open dead.
One hit wood door.
One ring.
Play safe. Wait, is there another one?
Yes, it's above me. I can't get Nice, that's 2. Can we get 2?
Yeah.
Last open.
He's killed. P5. They spawn P5. 2 front. Get on top.
I got it. I'm 1 shot. Look at the time. We need to get out.
Nice, I'm gonna go around.
Top maps and cannon. Top maps.
Yo, chuck down on range. Chuck down. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Get in the front. Yeah, 1 bottom maps. He's top P5. He's front map.
London worked so hard for that break over at the fountain, and they finally are able to get it, but with only 15 seconds left. Jay, how would you grade the comms there of the Ravens?
I thought the communication was on point. You're not getting overzealous. No one's trying to be super hype in the comms as well to make it frantic. They know that this is their tournament. This is their last hoorah. You got to make sure everything is on point. You don't want to make sure that communication is fluttered. But now with them finding that break onto P3, they do a great job of not allowing LA to get any time off of that hill, but neither did they. They still find themselves down by 60 points. They get the break in towards cannons, but for how long? It's still a 60-point game.
Thieves get a very interesting topside spawn over at the stage. They're going to have 2 players roaming in from the flank. 15 seconds still to fight for. This is time that you need if you're Ravens, and it's time that you will get. As we said, first set of rotation looked very, very dire. Lead still very much so intact from the Thieves, but currently from London, you could tell that the fight is there. A few players starting to go on sprees. Scrapz now at 29-18. The man is frying. It's just a matter of can the rest of the teammates join alongside of him to get a bit of slang, which then allows for you to hop inside of that time. Thieves reach double century. How do Ravens look to respond?
Oh, but Ravens at least put themselves on the preferred side. Just have to get them off to this point. They're not sitting in towards the deep corner. They're playing in through bottom maps. And Asim, he's the guy who makes it happen again. Sitting at 26-26, has completely turned this game around. But London are still down by 60 points. We saw them have a comeback versus Boston Breach. It was this P5 to P1 chain. Can they do it again?
Oh my goodness, and now Scrapz now at 30-19, eventually does hit the dust, but with that, we look to reset. 15 seconds remain over at the horse statue, but everybody is prepared for new. Everybody is looking to maintain the far left side of the mini-map. And it's going to be a big battle in the back that is won by who other than Matty Marshall. Scrapz again with another influential fight. Ravens with map positioning, but as we said, they have got to make a sizable dent in that advantage right now.
Yeah, this has to be a clean 2 to 3 dead. Maintain your map control and put LAT in a little bit of a spawn trap. Nastie, the soul man, over towards the point. Finessing with the tack. He's able to find 2. Let's get the trophy down. And let's be able to find a 3rd as well. London, they're finding all the kills in the feed. It's starting to get scary. LA Thieves with only 35 seconds left need to try to flip these spawns.
Oh, and Asim, he snaps on another. Ravens beginning to erupt as they are now within about 30. Asim, oh, he's feeling it. He's feeling it in front of the 6. About to reach 200 points. Gets stuck, but who cares? Momentum at their side. Octane beam from afar. London have got the rotation.
And Nastie's one off for Cruz as well, but he does get taken down by Drazah. The break comes in with only 5 seconds. So now if you are London, you set yourself up to potentially close it out over towards the stage hill. You're going to be the team here early. Asim is still slaying around the middle of the map. They're finding all the kills at the right time. London are bringing this back.
Oh my God, Asim is on one. He just keeps getting naded, but when he dies, Nastie is there to pick up where he leaves off. We're about to witness a lead change. Ravens have fought back valiantly. Everybody going on sprees. And now it's Scrapz' turn. Drazah, last one alive, but he's able to find 2. Back and forth we go. Thieves rush to the front. Now they've got the time.
And they can win it here as well. So both teams have to know. We have to contest this down to the very end. You have to win a trade. LA are able to find 3 kills in a row. It's only 15 seconds until they take map 1.
Oh, and this is the perfect moment, right? This is the perfect moment for London. You have to break right now. Thieves have got everything going for them. They have to contest at least for a second. They managed to do so. Thieves cannot win it. It's all on player 3. He falls, and with that, Thieves, this should be their game. Final few seconds inbound, and that will do it.
Man, that one got spicy all the way to the very end. At least if you are the Thieves, you had such a dominant start in the first rotation of those HPs to give yourself a nice little lead. Because once London's gun started to get a little bit warmed up, Asim started going on streaks. Nastie started going on streaks. Scrapz was doing it the entirety of the map. But LAT knew that they needed 1 break over towards stage. 1 break is all that was needed. They find all the kills at the right time, even though they weren't able to win it there. They had 2 players thinking a step ahead off the rotation towards statue. You take down that 1 guy from the Ravens who was trying to make a miracle happen. And you secure the final 4 seconds to take that map number 1. LA are probably on cruise control when they got to the second half of this game, but London, they didn't give up. They fought all the way to the very end, and now with them gaining some momentum at the end of that hard point, they definitely got to take it into this map number 2, because if you lose this S&D, we've seen them play hotel versus each other, and LA Thieves made pretty easy work out of them.
Yeah, and as we look through the highlights, it's just so frustrating, like considering the way, like London obviously dug themselves out of the hole. They were up toward the later stages of this game, but you just saw the massive lead that Thieves acquired off the rip. As you said, who wouldn't be in cruise control when you look at a massive advantage like they had? But it just goes to show how difficult it really is on a map like Fortress, Jay, to go from P5 into P1. You're trying to think about time. You're not trying to give seconds away to Thieves. You're also trying to lock in P2 spawns. They did an excellent job, but you're not going to get every single kill on the map. And obviously with that, Thieves, they realized, hey, we just need 1 more, 2 more breaks, and we win this. And they were able to do it. Like, London gave it their best shot, but it's all about the way this game started.
Yeah, I think, though, in that one opportunity that London had to take the lead early on into this hard point, it was that P2 to P3, where they found the break nice and early, but they weren't able to get any seconds on that hill. LA Thieves are still getting close spawns over towards double doors. London broke it with about 20 seconds left, but that 20 seconds is for absolutely nothing. Now you put yourself in a trap. You allow LA to win that rotation over towards next. I just feel like if they were able to get at least 20 to 25 seconds off of that P3, London take this map 1.
Yeah, I mean, look at the slang. Overall total kills, London technically outslayed by 4, still end up losing this game. I know we talked about a lot when it comes down to the Ravens, just considering that they are absolutely David in this fight when it comes down to it, but you got to give a lot of props to the Thieves. The way they started off the game, the way that they close it, excellent work, and it's Drazah off the rip, starting things off with a lovely performance. He goes 35 and 29, also had a decent amount of time inside of the HP. So with that, LAT up 1-0, and now we begin to think about this next Search Destroy coming up on LSilo. Jay, I feel like you and I have casted, I don't know, maybe 15 LSilo Search Destroys for the Thieves. What can you tell me about this roster coming up here for this one?
So LA, they have an overall record of 7-11. They played this map a lot throughout the entirety of the year. The biggest thing that they do struggle with is their man-up advantages. It's usually the man down. Like, you find something 3v4, you're in a disadvantage. But whenever they get that first blood, they don't really have the best teamwork. Yeah, it's not good. So you probably want to get first blooded if you are LAT. But then on the opposite side for London, this is a map that they do tend to struggle with. 2-6 overall record. They allow the most bomb plants to go down on the map. 71% of the time on their defenses, that bomb is planted. And they are also tremendously terrible in their retake situations. Only 20% of the time they are going to be successful on a retake. So if you are London, don't allow LA to put that bomb down. And the same thing on the opposite side, because LAT are also another team that enjoys to play for that retake.
Yeah, without question. And I guess we've been talking a lot about Thieves now. Let's kind of focus the attention into the Ravens. How do they answer back moving into this Search Destroy? I know they're off of a Search Destroy win. I believe that was on Fortress. Obviously, certain things translate, most things don't, to a map like LSilo. But what do you want to see be replicated here from the Ravens moving into this next one?
I just need to see the teamwork, man. No individual plays. We know that Asim, when he starts to feel himself, he's going to pop that dead silence, push him through courtyard, push him through Keg Alley, and try to make a one-on-one play happen. But when you start to apply that teamwork in the game, that's when you're able to take your strategies to a completely different level. So for London, I know it's been a struggle all year long, but the first blood is a major factor for this team. They are the worst in 3v4 situations on this map, so you got to get that initial kill.
Yeah, absolutely do. We'll see how it goes. First blood, well, it looks to go to the way of Envoy. Finally ends up finishing his food and inside of the mattress. I wouldn't recommend trying to eat on the floor. A nice little answer quickly. They're coming in from Scrapz, but it is headshots all the way around. A bomb plant that Envoy does not feel comfortable about, but it does not matter. My word, Asim take you down emphatically, and now it is all on to Mr. Plumridge, a 1v3.
Yeah, Envoy must have got some kind of communication to stop committing towards the bomb plant, go for the challenge, win the one-on-one. Now it's Nastie left in the 1v3. He does find the first kill, but the trade is going to be in. LA Thieves, the aggressors. Envoy finds the first blood. He also finds the second as well before putting that bomb down. They know that London have no trophy systems to work with to play in towards A, so they set the tone nice and early to go up 1-0.
And it's been interesting, right? Because we've been talking about the Thieves, how they've had, you know, struggle so far throughout the Major 5 qualifiers. And oftentimes it's usually like, oh, S&D is the reason for why. That actually is not the case, right? They've been struggling in the respawns. Yeah. Lately in Search Destroy, LAT have been great. They've actually won their last 4. It's by definition technically been their best game mode as of late. And right now, they're trying to make another victory happen here versus London in a crucial spot. And when Thieves have gone on runs, Jay, when they've won tournaments, it's been because of the Search Destroy performances. Envoy not able to check toward his left. Thankfully, Drazah has also got that Vaznev out, so it equals out to a trade.
And this is a scary sight whenever Drazah whips out that SMG. We know he's playing a lot of S&D A's back home, so he knows all the routes. He's not going to be worried about his timing. Great movement to get out with his life. But it's still a 3v2 scenario. Octane does invest that dead silence. But London, they're going to try to take down Drazah, and Nastie loses that 1v1, 2v2 now.
How is Drazah even alive? Now it all comes down to him. What a life he has lived here in round number 2, but does eventually hit the deck. And with that, Ravens win around, and the crowd, well, they start to get excited, Jim.
And that's where the teamwork comes in right there from London. I know they start off with that first gunfight, the trade is there. But every single time another engagement was going down on the map, there was a player from London always ready to put down a couple shots to play for that kill. Just great teamwork to take that round and now tie it up at 1.
As we said, London in the last series that they had versus Boston were able to come away with a huge search and destroy win. Obviously elevated them after the opening hardpoint that they were able to take. Search Destroy, it's been a struggle all season. Hardpoint's been their best game mode, but a Search Destroy win here, an answer versus the Thieves, would be exactly what the doctor ordered as they start things off nicely, getting Drazah and Kenny both off the board.
And those are 2 island gunfights. Scrapz all the way towards Radio Tower, Nastie pushed up towards the half-wall at B point. They win those one-on-ones, and now it's instantly a 4v2. Left up to Envoy and Octane. Asim still puts himself in a great position behind enemy lines. Dead silence is now going to run out. The Envoy, he's the bomb carrier. What kind of information can he try to gain? At least play for 1 kill.
Just around the corner, Mr. Hannon hanging out, and he will be the sole man alive, potentially waving the white flag. But as we said, he's had a wonderful start to this Search and Destroy. One of the best S&D players that we've got in the game. 1v4 on the cards. He's definitely up for the task. 30 seconds on the clock. Thankfully, he's got the bomb. No daddy, though, so he is absolutely hurt, and Ravens will answer with another. Oh, and Asim, little fist bump. Love that.
Bringing the energy. He's letting the people know. We got to make this happen. London find the initial 2 kills. Put themselves in a 4v2. And then don't get overzealous. No one goes for the one-on-one fights. They stand next to each other to close out the round, not allow anything freaky to happen with Envoy in a 1v4. So they chain 2 rounds back-to-back with Scrapz currently on a 3 streak.
He's looking great, man. Matty Marshall's coming to play. Knowing how important that this match is for the franchise, for him as well. And I'm sure he's got the family, especially his brother, watching this one at home on the edge of their seat, hoping that the Ravens can come away with another clutch game victory. Envoy with the read, not able to escape with his life. Thankfully for the Ravens, they do answer. Lots of early trades so far throughout this round. But Octane, the bullet, ends up dropping Nastie, and with that, it puts Thieves in a commanding 3v2.
Yeah, Envoy right off the rip. He's able to get one and get all the information of where the pressure's coming in. So Octane lines it up with the snipe, finds that kill. Now it's a 3v2 with both players from London already investing in that dead silence. Octane gets that info. They're going to be sitting towards top party. How do they set up around it? Kenny's just pre-aiming the window, takes down Scrapz. Now it's Yuli in a 1v3.
Well, best of luck to the Røkkr. Kind of a similar situation to what we saw last round. Technically, bomb in hand. He has no dead silence, and right when he just comes away from the cover, he's got tack shots, he's got Vaznev. I think Octane might have even fired away a sniper bullet at him. But eventually, it's Kenny who ends up putting the rookie away. Thieves answer.
Yeah, that round just comes down to the information Envoy is able to gain early on. He spots multiple players pushing up through the courtyard, gives that info to Octane to line up the shot onto Nastie. Now LA able to stop the bleeding for now. 2-2. Going into this next round with LA being back on the attack. I think you just go back to the bread and butter. What you did in that first round, super aggressive in towards A. Let's just try to play for that bomb.
See if that elects to be the strategy. Trophies out, setting up shop inside of the billiards room. Oh my goodness, and quite literally a shark. Kenny, some excellent bullets. Landed off the rip. The nade not able to do the trick. So Yuli will stay alive to the top side of the map, or rather the bottom side for the moment. In the meantime, it is going to be a free plant. Nobody in ear's distance. It's going to be able to shut that one down. Kenny, patient as you'd like. It will pay off as Thieves answer first, and now it is up to Ravens here on the 3v4 retake.
Yeah, London are going to decide to put pressure up through Keg Alley. But while they're doing that, Drazah's doing it on the opposite side. He's able to take down Asim. Kenny finds another one. Drazah knows the positioning of the final player. As LA Thieves go back, just getting that bomb down. Kenny with the first blood. And then Drazah, no hesitation on the repositioning to close out the round for his team. LAT take back control, up 3-2.
And I like what LAT do in that round as well, Jay. Like in that situation, right, the door opens, Kenny just maintains. It's like, okay, we know where the Ravens are. We're going to basically make them have to adapt to what we're going to do. You never really saw London change up the setup. They kind of waited for the Thieves to come to them. It's a minor play. It's a, just one door that opens. It's a few arrows on the map, but it means all the difference. Another great round here for LAT as Kenny now on 4. Thankfully, he has got the rest of the squad to handle the business. Drazah, SMG in hand, does eventually fall, and it's Yuli to answer back with 2.
And this is one of those man advantage situations where the LA Thieves just get a little bit over aggressive to try to take down this round super quick. And it comes back to bite them. Now it's a 2v2. Nastie gets the info onto where Octane is. The bomb is now going to be planted. Yuli and Nastie versus Kenny and Octane.
How can they lock this down? Time continues to tick. Yuli looking for the reposition. Thankfully, he's had that dead silence. Watching both ways. Gets the audio cue onto Kenny. Also maintains his life. Yuli has done everything in this round, and now it is all on to Octane. Give him the ace. Give him the bomb plant. The Røkkr coming to play as we equalize.
That's some serious ice right there out of the Ravens, more specifically out of Yuli. In the 2v4 scenario, they hold strong, win their one-on-ones. LAT get a little bit over aggressive, and London take full advantage of it. You get the bomb down. I thought that one-on-one over towards the courtyard was going to go Kenny's way, but Yuli, he gets a couple sound cues. He knows the positioning, wins that gunfight, and then finds the final one to close it out. Yuli earns the ace and is able to tie the game up at 3.
We've seen Yuli have dominant performances. It oftentimes leads to Ravens victories. A 2.6 in S&D wins, a 0.5 in S&D losses. They need the Røkkr to be fiery, and right now he is at 7-3. 1 away from the Cruise. They look to play around him. And with that, tosses out a nade. It's the Thieves on retreat.
So now in the 3v4 situation, Envoy knows that there's at least 2 players in towards this A site. We gotta find a different angle to attack the room. And it might be Drazah just picking up that information, or at least push it over towards this B point, pull a couple players from London to the opposing side of the map. The time is still ticking, and Yuli's still gonna make the play happen. He finds another one, earns himself the Cruise.
Oh, he's feeling
goes
it.
for the snap onto Octane, can't finish it though.
I feel like if I'm London, if I'm his teammates, I'm like, we're just setting you up, buddy. We're setting you up for success. Octane eventually able to find him, finds another as well. However, though, his teammate falls, so it is all on to Mr. LaRue. A 1v4, able to acquire the bomb, and it's got to go for a very quick plant because the London Royal Ravens are just right around the corner.
And Octane, though, get out with his life. Just going to close that door. Nastie picks up the info. The Prince is going to be in. What can Octane do?
Fires up a few bullets, has to back up. Thoughts, is somebody going to get on the bomb? He finds another. Octane, what away from the clutch of the tournament. And it's Nastie who escapes with a handful of HP. But they were sweating toward the end of that round. Octane did almost everything right. You could argue that he technically did everything right. Enough bullets, but Ravens have more bodies. Nastie escapes as Ravens once more take the lead.
It was that initial bullet right there that Nastie's able to connect. He only had 6 HP left. And when you hit a player with 5 and he hits you with 4, you're going to be able to win that gunfight. As London take the lead back, now up 4-3. Keep in mind that Yuli still has that cruise missile to work with. This is the round where you sort of try to invest it so you can put yourself at game point.
And that is exactly what Yuli is going to do. Going to hang out, play around that cruise missile.
They're going to take it right to B2.
See how Thieves look to adapt. They know nobody's going to be over in field, so can this thing do some damage? No, not able to thread the needle, at least gets information. Thieves quickly off of that streak usage. are gonna finally come outdoors. And with that, what do they elect to do? The bomb's actually been dropped. And that's intentional. Asim, meanwhile, was going for a round. He spots Octane. Oh, shots are not good enough to land, and he ends up paying for it. Kenny picking up for where Octane nearly left off. And Yuli firing. Now in a 2v3.
Okay.
2v2.
Yuli making it happen. He does get traded, so now it's Scrapz. Mr. Matty Marshall left in the 1v2. 30 seconds left on the clock with that bomb down through the middle of the map. Has a lot of ground to cover. Invests that dead silence. Takes top window control, but the chow's about to be here.
I just have a feeling. I have a feeling something's gonna happen here for Scrapz. Has to check his left. No, not gonna happen. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the poutine I had earlier, Jay. I'm not exactly sure. Thieves able to find him. Scrapz doesn't check his left, but what a wild round it was. Yuli ends up making it close. Left Scrapz in the best position that he really could. But you just wonder if Asim cleans up that kill onto Octane, how different things could have been.
Yeah, because you keep in mind what London just invested on that round. You invest a couple dead silence to come out of players' back pockets. You also invest that cruise missile to try to plant that bomb over towards B. But instantly, LA Thieves were in a great position to retake that site. And I thought Asim made a beautiful play when he dropped that bomb, but once he wasn't able to finish that kill, it all goes LAT's way. So all tied up at 4. LA back on the attack. Yuli already puts himself in a great position. I don't know if LA's gonna read this.
Yeah, that's a very unique one. Yuli instantly for 1. No,
again.
He finds a second. Yuli, this man is a search and destroy mastermind. Eventually traded out, but he continues to breathe life into London. When it comes down to this search and destroy, a 3v2 that they desperately need, but it is versus Kenny and Octane. Tons of chemistry between these two, and you're already seeing it on display. Able to answer for 2, and now we fall into a 1v1.
1v1. Nastie v Kenny. 40 seconds left. Kenny's just gonna make the play come to him. Gonna put that bomb down towards A. Nastie has 45 seconds. He just pops that dead silence. What kind of info can he get? Where has Kenny gone?
Kenny getting close to earning Daddy, but not there yet. As you said, Nastie rocking it to try to get a different position. So much riding on this round. Who's it gonna go toward? And it's Big Byron! Mr. Plumridge has come to play. A 1v1 that goes his way in London. Now lead again. 5 rounds to 4.
I thought once Nastie pops that dead silence, by the time he gets near that bomb site, it all runs out. So Kenny gets a couple sound cues. He knows exactly where he's coming from, but he's just not ready for the snap out of Nastie. That's now 2 1v1s that he clutches up on. One with 6 HP remaining, now that one with 8. He's just hitting that extra bullet, and he clutches up on the round for London to now put the back game point.
Toronto was loving it, having a great time watching one of the more interesting search destroys that we've seen on this season. Are we about to head to around 11? Or do London lock things up here? We are about to find out, as once more it is Ravens on the attack. Do we see that early first blood go their way? No, in fact, it's gonna be Drazah, hungry as you'd like. Octane ends up finding one in the back lines. So Thieves going for the rush. This is instantly Nastie left by himself.
Nastie now left in a 1v4. He does take down one, but LA with the pressure up through the middle of the map to set the tone nice and early. I thought it was going to get scary. They find the initial 2. It's another 2v4 situation. Last time they were in that scenario, London were able to clutch up with Yuli finding an ace. But that time, Envoy and Drazah, they work together as the SMG duo and make those plays happen in towards bottom pool. So now we found ourselves in a round 11. Who wants it more?
Who wants it more? LAT, a victory here. You love their chances to walk away with a quick series. London in desperate need of an answer. And so often it comes down to the opening engagement. Who will find it on this occasion? So far in First Bloods, it has favored the Thieves. Will it again? Envoy, aggressive! A perfect 2-piece! As it's the instant pinch, and it is downright dominance in our last 2 rounds. Scrapz doing his best job possible, but Thieves come back from down 5-4 and answer here in OT in round 11. And now are up 2-0 in this series.
And that's the difference right there between David and Goliath. LAT, they've already won a major. They know what it's like to be in a round 11, more specifically on El Asilo. They take the play to them. They know that London have all the pressure on their side. We need this map to try to make it a series. So they were gonna play slow on their attacks. But LAT do the same exact setup on defense. Octane goes over towards the courtyard. He gets an SMG player also to assist him. You stun those double doors open, and all the action is about to go down. But Envoy, he finds the initial 2. Octane finds the 3rd. And Nastie in the 1v4. It's not going to be easy to clutch up on. LA Thieves bring this one all the way back. Show some serious ice to now go up 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, and I love what you said there, Jay. In that round 11, it's like Thieves, it feels like they have all the confidence in the world moving into this overtime. They're not expected to be in a situation like this, right? You're down 5-4. They have an aggressive round. They win it. The last thing that London is thinking moving into a round 11 is like, hey, you know what? We're just going to see a very quick look coming in from the Thieves. So often in round 11s, everything slows down.
Everything.
All 8 arrows are pretty much stationary, but Thieves call the audible, and now they find themselves up 2-0. Maybe, just maybe, London could come away with something special, but Jay, they got to fight for their lives. One more map is what separates us potentially from the Ravens being eliminated from this season. Here in the CDL, do they have the ice? Do they have an option to answer back? We will have to find out, as when we join you back, it'll be on Hotel Control, potentially the final map of the day as well. Stay with us. Howdy, friends, and welcome back to Major 5 here from Toronto. Oh, my word, that looks beautiful. I wish my hotel room view looked exactly like that, but currently looking at a parking lot. Jay, which point?
They must know. Like, you see the tower right there? It was red and purple. You want to know why? It's because Toronto got to play Atlanta, so they're already thinking about tomorrow.
That's going to be lit. That's going to be an absolute blast. We are closing things out here on day number 2, though. It's been a wild day, right? Some crazy upsets, some wild results. This one, though, going to Thieves is playing, right? Currently up 2-0, but you got to give a lot of love. Like, we're talking to the fans. Miles even came up. So many clutch moments where it feels like London had the opportunity, nearly make the comeback on the hard point. It's a round 11 search, destroy, loss where they were up 5-4. These games have been in London's hands, but according to Thieves have been there to steal them.
Yeah, Thieves have been able to clutch up in those final moments of now 2 maps in a row. 12-point hard point. 1 round difference in that search and destroy. So now find themselves up 2-0. And if you are LA, you are now in the most comfortable chair that you could possibly be in. You have the next 3 maps just in case it does go to a map number 5. You have already been able to take down LA on all 3 in your most previous matchup during stage 5. This is going to be a square up because London, I know, don't have the best record on this map, but this is their more preferred control map. They're also going up against LAT, just made easy work of OpTic Texas. They have an overall record of 15-6. This is the best team on this map.
Yeah, as you said, LAT love themselves some control, love themselves some hotel control, so perfect point of emphasis. Thieves right now feeling good, feeling confident, but how did London look to answer? Doesn't really look pretty much to the middle side of the map as they've now decided to retreat, regroup, and re-enter inside of the restaurant. Currently 1 segment done and 2 more to go. So far, it has been solid. Thieves maybe preparing for a potential late break. We'll see if that's possible as Octane starts things off.
Yeah, Octane starts it off, and they're just trying to stall out a lot of that time for Kenny to hit that flank through Top Cat, and it pays dividend as he's able to find 3 in the feed, take him off of that A point before it gets completed. Now all of London spawning over towards bedroom side. LA Thieves, they're just more focused on keeping them in this trap. Kenny finds another, and time is still ticking.
Yeah, it's the exact play that you want to see come through from the Thieves as time looks to be a bit of a problem. Line him up and knock him down. Great work from Nastie to answer back with 2. Has to hit the reload, try to pull the aBeZy, but not going to happen. And with that, 30 seconds continues to tick for the Ravens. They look to reposition back again toward B. Obviously A, so close on locking it down. They eventually enter back on forward, and with that, they look to lock things up and get 1 minute added on to the game clock.
And I don't know how long Kenny has not died for. He's been behind enemy lines the entirety of this map. He can potentially earn himself a cruise missile. 17-13 in lives remaining. LA, they're just trying to play these exit kills, but already London find himself in a couple good positionings. Scrapz in towards the main desk. This is a power spot. If you want to capture this B point, just got to hold this down, throw your snakes, get your trophies down, because all of LAT, when they come off spawn, this is their main focus.
Yeah, and Scrapz pretty much acts like a reset point for the Thieves. He almost acts like a checkpoint here for London. Able to stay alive after some pesky shots coming through from Sam LaRue. Drazah, oh, nice instant chow. Quick little read there on to Scrapz, and with that, Jay, you're tossing up some question marks for me. What's going on here on the map?
He's still alive. He still hasn't died. He found himself now with 7 in a row. 9-1 to start off this control. Now that leaves to London only having 5 lives remaining. It has to be picture perfect. And that's a good way to start as Asim finds it first. Yuli gets his 2nd kill so far of the map. But with only 20 seconds left, you have to eliminate both of these players from LA in towards bedroom, or you stand no chance.
Last push inbound. Kenny, a near flawless round. Looks to make it that much better. Only 2 lives left. It is down to Scrapz and Yuli. 10 seconds on the clock. Kenny finally dies after a wonderful 4-minute life. Drazah there to clean things up. Final 5 seconds as we say goodbye to Yuli. Well, just a matter of time. There he falls. LAT get the round. It was so funny, Jay. I was looking at you and I'm like, yeah, where are London right now? Like, they're not even making it past the 50-yard line. Reason for that is because of that man in the center of your screen. Kenny was having a blast on the map.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he died for his very first death of the map, and then took about 2 minutes before he dropped for his 2nd death. But he earns himself that cruise missile. Was such a nuisance behind enemy lines that every time London were coming on spawn, they would get kitchen spawns. They're thinking that Kenny's still behind them, but Kenny was playing bottom middle. And then when they spawn towards bedroom, they're thinking Kenny's definitely in towards kitchen. No, he's actually sitting bottom bed waiting for you to move move around the map. Kenny just played that like an absolute rat, and it plays out perfectly for LA to take the first round.
And how great is it, right, if you're a Thieves fan, after seeing a 1-4 result in the qualifiers, come into that match versus OpTic Texas, Kenny looks amazing. I mean, the entire roster looked fantastic. I don't think anybody had lower than a 1.15, but you're thinking, hey, you know what, from a Thieves perspective, whether 100 Thieves or now LA Thieves, they know what to do when it comes down to these loser bracket situations, and seeing him have rounds like that, maps like this, is a very welcoming sight. Lying here in the back chandeliers as he looks to get all kinds of comfortable now in the Ravens base.
Yeah, we all know, though, that LAT, whenever we get to that local area network, they're a completely different team.
Yeah.
They showed it in their first series versus OpTic, and they're continuing on currently versus London. Kenny's still sitting at 10-3. He knows that London are going to get those close ones in towards back spa, and this is what LA love to do. They love to be able to chain this A point over towards B, but once Kenny gets shut down, got to slowly work up this progression. They're going to be able to extend that time. London have to have a lot of time to set up properly around bedroom.
And Jay, what are Thieves doing here in the later stages of this round, right? Why don't they just all hop on the point? They've got one guy and they're sending scouts out. Why is that the case for the Thieves?
The reason why is because A is really easy to capture. You know London, they're going to decide to chalk it, especially when that second segment is gived up. So Thieves, they're just going to send every other player to play for those one-on-ones and catch a couple players all spawn. They're able to chain that. They're able to flip them to the opposite side of the map, and that would be an easy round. Right now, LA, with full mid-map control, they still do not have bedroom. They're trying to locate where Yuli is. That's the first guy they got to take down before they can apply pressure from the front.
Where's the rookie hiding? Popping dead silence, hanging out. Eventually, it's going to be found. Wonderful work there from Mr. Hannon, as now the Thieves Brigade elects to start. Kenny for another, Octane for the third. One man alive, and he is not going to be anywhere near. Scrapz doing everything he can to toss a little bit of utility, but it's trophies down right now from the Thieves. They're emptying out the shelves, the cabinets. They've got plenty of trophies there in the Thieves camp. 2 segments down and 1 more to go. Octane, nail in the coffin. Thieves now up 2-0.
And I love the way that LA just played that round. Usually see a lot of teams on hotel control, sending multiple players through Shandy to try to go for those flank kills. But once they take that player down and towards bedroom, they apply all the pressure through the front because they know that London's setup on defense is definitely someone watching through the mid-arch, definitely someone watching the overextension. So if you win those 2 initial gunfights, the stack is going to be in while you're also spawning them all the way across the map. That's just a perfectly played round right there from LA to put them now at game point.
2-0 in the series and 2-0 in the control. Is this the way that it ends for Ravens? A 3-0-3-0, or can they have an answer? David yet to sling that first stone. Goliath a bit dazed, but hasn't fully been able to drop as of yet. And right now, Octane, very much so, a commanding presence. Basically turns into an 8-foot-tall person when he's hanging out over on the head glitch, but with that now, we're down to pesky plays. Envoy trying to be a problem in the back lines, hanging out in the kitchen, now into the restaurant he goes, eventually drops as Thieves look to hold off this A-zone push for as long as possible.
And time is still ticking. If you are London, let's just send all 4 bodies over towards the diner, because it's been very, very difficult to trade efficient on this side of the map. Now Drazah the next line of defense. Asim with the up close and personal. Little bit of the stair cheese right there, but he finds a second. So London have the opportunity to work up this A progression. First segment already done. But now your focus is on Octane. He's on a 5 street. Can't allow him to earn that cruise.
He said cheese on the stairs. Yeah, it's a wild restaurant. They got all kinds of weird things going on in there. The chef, you know, he cooks up a pretty nice few meals. Ravens, currently not one of them, not yet on the menu, as they will officially capture that A zone. Another minute added on to the clock as we're tying in lives. Do Ravens have another heroic push built up? Yuli, long-range shots not going to win that, especially versus Kylo Ken today. Scrapz trying to make life difficult in the backside of the spawn for the Thieves. Car bomb goes boom, and with that, the Thieves look to adapt. Scrapz, can he find another? Putting in some work, going for the challenge. Such a long fight, and thankfully Yuli is there to save him.
Sets up Yuli to find that kill. Have somewhat better control, and Yuli's not slowing down. Super aggressive up through the double dash. He takes down Octane. He finds another kill as well. So London has some breathing room to put pressure on through the front end. And you got to do it quick because the rest of LA, they're going for those flanks.
You can tell for the Thieves, they're just looking for that one moment where they can really find all 4 of the Ravens, get him inside of their base. Scrapz low on ammo, 1 bullet to his name, and now it's about the combat knife. We'll see what he can do with it. In the meantime, Kenny has got that cruise missile. Jay, he's bringing it in at the perfect time.
Yeah, this is perfect. Kenny knows that his teammates just went 3 down. He's the guy with the cruise missile over towards bottom luggage, so you want to use that before you give up your positioning. And he stalls out enough time for his teammates to get into the play. Envoy pops 3. Octane is now going to invest his cruise missile. And with 25 seconds remaining, London have to make something happen.
There's got to be a miracle type of play. The Hail Mary now inbound here for the Ravens as Octane finds another kill in the middle of the map. It's a 9v8 in terms of lives. Snaking his heart out, wanting to see another W pop up on the board. Here it is, Ravens season right in front of us, and it all comes crashing down. The Tower of London has fallen, and it's been breached here by the LA Thieves as they submit yet another lower bracket W. Flawless on the day as their Major 5 tournament run will continue, and that will do it here for the Ravens this season.
And we knew before going into this matchup, it was going to be very, very difficult for the Ravens to try to take down LA. All season long, it's going in favor of the squad from California. Every single map has gone their way. This was just such a tall task to try to climb. And see the devastation on Asim's face. Get the upset versus Boston. You fall short versus LAT. But at least you are one of the fan favorites and a guy that everyone is looking forward to watching next year.
Yeah.
I know they haven't had the best performance, but London, they never had quit to them. They always fought, even versus the top teams in the game. That series was a lot more difficult for LA than OpTic was for LA. So, gotta tip your hat to the London boys. But today, LAT get the better of them again.
Yeah, it's hard to. It's honestly, it's really hard to see that. It really is. It seemed the entire roster. Obviously, they've had a few shifts in the lineup throughout the season. Just never really were able to connect the dots when they had that one moment where I think it was like during Major 3. So many close losses, so many close moments, and that series kind of echoes what really has been the issue for the Ravens roster throughout the season. So many opportunities where they could take down top teams, but just not able to get over the finish line. A narrow first 2 games as Thieves come away with the 3-0. And now for the rest of the tournament, for the rest of really everybody in the CDLJ, this Thieves team, now what? That's now 6-0. They are looking very, very good right now moving into tomorrow.
They look like they're on that another legendary losers bracket run. They just have to continue to keep this form because they're looking great.
Yeah, they are indeed. Let's go ahead and now toss it over to the main stage. We've got an interview with Mr. Kylo Ken.
Thank you very much. Yes, I am joined on the stage here with Kenny. Let's jump straight into it then. First of all, congratulations, but I know you've got a long way to go. We'll get to that. Hard point first. It was quite close in the end there. Do you think you made some mistakes? Do you think London surprised you in some aspects?
Honestly, London was shooting pretty well, to be honest. But we started out pretty hot on the forward. I feel like we got like a little overzealous and stopped like doing little fundamental, a little small things, and kind of almost let it get out of hand. They got a few pieces every now and then, so it was kind of hard to like reel it back in until that like end of the game. But overall, I think London played pretty well, except for the control. But yeah, good match.
Yeah, a little bit more of maybe a match you were expecting. This matchup, it has happened before, and I don't think you've actually dropped a map to them before. Did they surprise you in this last major with anything on the S&D you weren't expecting?
What's that again, London?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, S&D. I mean, we obviously did our VOD a little bit before we could play that before the match, but they definitely did some new things and won a couple 1v1s that probably should have gone our way. And like I said, overall they were shooting pretty well, so the 1v1s were big.
Yeah, they certainly have had a better tournament than they have had previously, I can say that for sure. Let's talk then about your run in the loser bracket. I know at this point it is difficult to be enthusiastic or overconfident because you know there is still a mountain to climb. Mentality-wise, obviously coming off the championship into this position, how has that affected you and the team?
I mean, overall, we know how good we are on LAN. So having an opponent like OpTic first round was huge for us. I feel like a lot of people like think we were scared, but I feel like for us it was a big match. Like we win that match 3-0, we're feeling super confident. So no matter who we play, I feel like a lot of teams are gonna be scared to drop down to us and play us, and just looking to keep staying hot and keep the momentum up.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, first round OpTic Gaming. The fans of OpTic are a little bit terrified of you at this moment, and it has become a meme, right? It is a meme, and I wanted to ask you about it. Obviously, for yourself, what is it about that matchup that maybe brings out the best in you, and why has it become so, well, funny all the way through the CDL?
Well, I mean, I feel like a lot of the times the big matches or the good ones versus them always happen on LAN. Yeah. I mean, overall, I feel like my team, like once again, I feel like our team is really good on LAN, and we look forward to it. But I just like being against the crowd. I like when the crowd boos, so it kind of gets my adrenaline going. And overall, I mean, I just have a good series every time. I don't know why. There's no reason to it. I'm not thinking about it. It's fun playing them because they're a good team, and overall, it's a battle every time.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to let you rest because you've got a long couple of days ahead of you. That was Kenny here on the main stage. Desk, over to you to break down the game we just saw.
Thank you so much, Brycey. Congratulations to LA Thieves on a perfect 6-0 day. They dispatch of our #1 and our #12 as they send OpTic and London Royal Ravens packing. Before we dive into this performance from LA Thieves, I do want to give a big shout out to Asim, playing in front of his friends and family. That was the star of the Royal Ravens if you were watching them in 2023. But it was a team that continued to try and evolve, Ali, and I think we saw some of the best from Nastie, as well as Yuli, having a standout game in Search and Destroy, showing everyone that maybe they should be back in the CDL in 2024.
I think everybody on the Royal Ravens had kind of their moment to shine throughout today. I think Nastie and Asim, especially in that first series that we saw today, where they pull out an unbelievable win. And then we saw Scrapz in that map #1 for LA Thieves. Yuli dropping double digits there in the Search and Destroy. I think all of them kind of left their mark here.
I have a feeling Scrapz is going to be winning big in Malta. But Joe, let's take a look back at some of the action here from this series. Tell me about the Thieves. It was a tight game 1 and 2, but then we showed the control.
I mean, listen, Kenny kind of said it, right? Well, this is actually going back to...
Let's go all the way to the beginning.
Boston
London versus Boston.
Yeah, and how many times have we seen Boston lose on this sort of last P1 rotation? 4 times London now. Able to clutch on up. Asim with some big plays. Nastie leading the way as well. But London with a huge upset over Breach to start off our day.
Yeah, you know, that's honestly an unacceptable loss out of the Boston Breach. I mean, going up against London, Boston, you're a team that is supposed to be a dark horse. You're supposed to be able to get a top 4 placing. You fix a couple of things there, but you run into London and you get smoked. You let everybody turn up against you. Extremely disappointing, and they're going to be talked about by a lot of people in the community before Champs.
Yeah, Boston's got a month to prepare as their next tournament is Champs, knocked out bright and early, a 12th place for the Breach, after looking to improve after a 4th place in the previous tournament. As we keep it rolling, New York played against LAG, and that series, it was not pretty either. The Subliners taking care of business, sending the Guerrillas packing. We kind of mentioned it, Joe Deceives. He had some good moments. We wanted to see something more from Arcades and Assault. Subliners simply too strong.
Yeah, we didn't see anything special. Let's be honest, beside LAG. We did see, you know, toe-to-toe map #1, Joe Deceives trying to put up a good fight up against HyDra, but the surrounding people just not good enough. The teamwork is not there. For LAG, man, like the last 3 months has just been absolute pain. The experiment did not work. On the side of New York Subliners, though, I'm extremely excited for this team. I feel like they, 1 or 2 things changed in that series versus Toronto. They're still in the winner's bracket.
Oh, yeah.
So
they could been them all year, right?
Yeah, they could make this run, though, right? Like, they're getting better and better every turn.
Our fans are getting rowdy here in Toronto, and I love to see it. Day 2 in the books, but we still have 2 more days to go, and that day is going to feature a very impressive Vegas squad. Talk to me about the Legion, who's staying alive here, Joey D.
Yeah, I mean, Legion just going off. You know, some great games out of them versus Seattle Surge. Not an easy losers round 1 opponent whatsoever, but yeah, I mean, for the Legion, I mean, just staying alive. Now the Champs, up to them.
And we got to show you the Thieves versus OpTic series as well. We got those Legion highlights coming, chat. Don't you worry. I see you talking about Glacier. Excuse me, Kenny, though, versus Texas. We heard it from Brycey. This man is the kryptonite. He doesn't have the best stats, but he wins the important ones.
No, he absolutely does. I mean, just always playing well, but he kind of said it, that they just love playing this team. It just feels like they like going up against the fans and LA Thieves, just right from the get-go, punishing OpTic. OpTic's teamwork these last couple of days, just not there. So hopefully they can bounce back for Champs.
Where is OpTic Texas? Because that is not
on
the team that I saw
on a plane
during qualifiers heading into this. I guess if you're gonna get double first rounded. I mean, that should happen here and not at Champs, but clearly something going on in the OpTic Texas camp. This is just not what we expected from our #1 seed heading into today. But I guess maybe what we did expect out of the LA Thieves, a big bounce back on LAN as per usual, because we know that they seem to turn up when it comes to these major events. But also Seattle versus Vegas, man. We gotta talk about that matchup, Chris.
Surge versus Vegas. There was one spot up for grabs at Champs. Surge, a month ago, looked like they were a lock. No longer the case, as it's Legion who controls their destiny. They need to win 2 more series to steal it from the Surge, and it all started with this series win.
No, it did. And I mean, right from the get-go, TJ just having himself a performance, just great respawns out of him. Can he keep that up, though? That is the question for me. With this Legion squad, I mean, it's up to them. And Seattle Surge, well, you're the biggest New York fans, and if they beat them, you're the biggest either Florida or Minnesota fans. It sucks that you kind of have to just watch and wait to see what happens.
I completely agree with you. I think on the TJ note, like, he set the expectation now that he can hang with the #1 SMG in the league, and he's going up against the #2 SMG tomorrow in New York Subliners on HyDra. So I think for TJ, this is going to be a big testament to the type of player he is and what he can bring to the table in these high-pressure situations.
And remember, they went to Big Don Don last time they met up against New York. This is a battle that happened online just a few weeks ago. We get another shot at a 5-game series tomorrow. That is all in a battle for the top 6, as we have 7 teams remaining in this tournament, and one of those is LA Thieves. Can they make another ridiculous losers bracket run? Well, it plays like this, they sure can. It is your Scrapz play of the game coming from Kenny in this last series. The dominance and control. Alley Cat, I haven't heard you cast in a while. Give me some love.
You want to hear me cast over this?
Give me some Kenny goodness.
We might be on a little bit of a delay. I don't want to mess this up, but I do know throughout this entire hotel control, I mean, Kenny was simply that guy, and he needed to be. I mean, before heading into today, he had a 0.7 in hardpoint and a 0.7 when it came to respawn in general. So for Kenny, this was a huge bounce back, I think, of confidence for him. Obviously feels more comfortable on the local area network, and it didn't matter what gun was in his hand. It was the Vaz, it was the tag, and unfortunately, London Royal Ravens caught all of the brute of it.
What LA Thieves does better than anyone else is making sure no one gets behind them. But Kenny getting behind enemy lines, causing chaos for the Royal Ravens, is your Scrapz play of the game. Your final bracket look. Here you go, Wolf 17. I got Mutineers versus Røkkr kicking off the top of that winner's bracket. FaZe and Ultra will be playing at 4:30, but we'll be starting with that losers bracket battle. Legion versus Subliners at 1:30 p.m. The dream is still alive. Make sure you are locked in and tuning in for that one. And if you don't know the context, well, here is an updated look at our points here, Merc. 1 spot up for grabs. Can Legion jump into that top 8 spot? And what other shakeups could we see here?
Yeah, I mean, that's really it. And then I think on the other side, it's just sort of maybe an Ultra or Thieves can steal that #2 seed away from OpTic, depending on how their tournament goes. Obviously, you have Ultra versus FaZe later on, and then the loser of that is going to drop to play Thieves. So tomorrow, I think it'll be a little bit more of a difficult day for the LA Thieves. But I mean, yeah, can they get into the top 2? That's a question for me.
And congratulations to Atlanta FaZe, who after OpTic gets knocked out, officially reclaimed that #1 seed heading into Champs 4 now. Insane. Dominance from Atlanta. Can they keep it up against the hometown crowd? Well, it's going down at 4:30. All the action kicks off, though, with that elimination matchup. And Nameless, we got to wrap this day. They're about to escort us out, so give me the final thoughts. What did you love about Toronto Day 2?
I mean, just the storylines. The underdog is making some moves. We got Vegas versus New York. That is going to be a banger. Make sure you tune in tomorrow.
Allie, takeaway from Day 2?
I'm just glad we still have some seriously crazy storylines going on.
And Merc, what kind of wardrobe are we going to see you and Mr. Maven wearing tomorrow?
I don't know. I'm not too sure. Maybe like a couple bottles of maple syrup.
Oh, no.
Dress up in costume.
Do not do that.
Syrup only. That's what we're hoping for. Thank you, chat, for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow, 1:15 p.m. Eastern, for the Headquarters Show.
Like a running back, I don't ever get tired, I don't take naps. Looking back at you when I'm running laps. I'm the realest in the place, you should know that. Oh yeah, here's another L, you can hold that. All alone at the top with a throne that. It can get a little cold just like snow caps. No cap, if I fall, I'ma be back like a relapse. Never relax, hit you in the chin strap with a kneecap to your neck snap. Throw it online, make sure everybody see that. I have my aspirations, I know my destination. I go no hesitation, you can't break my concentration. I decide my fate. Between winners and the losers. 40 love, no love to my enemies. Waiting on my downfall, never see the enemy. Running like I got low legs and a centipede. Gold medal on my chest for the centerpiece. Slow me down, something you can never do. Hold me down, that's impossible, I never lose. One way or another one is what I do. This is my game and I play by my rules. I have my aspirations, I know my destination. I go no hesitation, you can't break my concentration. I decide my fate, ruler of my timeline. You will never catch me sitting on the sidelines. Between winners and the losers, there's a fine line. Check the phone, cause I know this is my time. Put me in the game, I'm running it. Lose every day, I'm running it. You know I don't play, I'm running it. I'm running it, I'm running it. Anytime, any place, I'm running it. On down for the chase, I'm running it. You can see it in my face, I'm running it. I'm running it.
I'm one shot. I need P6. I'm a bullet, bro.
I'm going low bed. 10 seconds.
I'm all right.
Two low bed, one more.
I'm pitching mid.
Low bed. Low bed, Shotzzy. He's gonna jump out.
They gotta go mid.
Yep.
Scout.